Hey everybody, I'm Tyler, your local realtor, and we have a very special guest on today. She's a local small business entrepreneur doing big things, very niche market, very unique, very talented, and very glad that she's here with us today and going to share a little bit about herself, what she's got going on. And yeah, without further ado, Amanda, thank you so much for joining today.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, you have a very unique skill set in what you do, and I'm very excited to share with the folks today on what that is. But if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of who you are and where you're from, and start with that, that'd be great.
Yeah. So my name's Amanda. I live in Las Vegas. I grew up in LA, went to college, or then moved to Vegas, went to college in Maine, and then moved back to Vegas. So I love Vegas. um, and when I first moved back, I was teaching third and fourth grade elementary school, all the subjects. And then when the pandemic hit, I had a lot of extra time on my hands when we weren't in classrooms. So I started selling my art, and people were willing to buy it, which was a crazy concept for me. And I really just realized how much I love, my using my creativity, building a business, and all of that. So in May of 2021, I went full time with my art. And now I sell dog cartoons. I draw dog cartoons, and then I do scenes or just characters, and then I sell them as prints on t-shirts, different things like that. And then I also sell them as NFTs.
Nice, nice. So you're saying during the pandemic is that's kind of when that hit, that's when you first started actually selling your artwork. But prior to that, you hadn't actually brought that to the public for, for purchase or for offering.
Yeah, exactly. I never thought like anyone would even be willing to buy it. I what I did was I was doing like custom pet portraits at that time, not really like my own ideas, just drawing other people's dogs. And I wanted to see if anyone would be willing to buy it. So I said on Instagram, the first 5 people who message me for a dog portrait, I will do it for $10, just to see if people were willing to even like send the money. And those sold out within like 5 minutes. And I was like, whoa, okay, this is cool. So then I started slowly raising my price to like $20 each, but I was still getting overwhelmed with orders. I ended up getting to $50 for one. And so that was like definitely a good start to a business. It just wasn't, for me, it wasn't using my creativity enough. I liked to be able to do my own designs and things like that. So that's when I started getting into cartoons.
Cool.
Um, and so it's kind of like a second business in a way.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, with the niche that you have and kind of the humans, you know, intertwining with the animals, what inspired that for you? Like what was the idea behind that?
So I've just always loved dogs. Like I wanted a dog my whole life. My parents always said they weren't dog people. And then finally, when I was like 12, I think I finally talked them into it. And so my parents, he's now my parents' dog, Toby, who I grew up with. I was on break one time and I just wanted to paint a picture of him. So I painted him digitally and then I put it onto an acrylic painting. And I just like loved how it looked. And my mom loved it too. So I figured out how to put it on a mug, how to put it on a t-shirt and all of that, just because she wanted it. And then I realized other people wanted it too. So I just kept going with that. And then with the cartoons, my original plan was just to draw humans pretty much. I just wanted to like get better at being able to depict the ideas in my head. And so I took like an online course on cartooning at the end of 2020, decided for all of 2021, I'm going to draw one cartoon every day. And so I started out like it's all on my Instagram, my other Instagram account, where I started out and it was just like really basic, just drawings of people's faces. And they didn't look great, but I just kept doing it every day and eventually just like morphed back into drawing dogs, but drawing dogs like doing human things.
That's awesome. I
Yeah,
know
it's
your
really
stuff
fun.
is so cool. I was going through your stuff the other day, some of it, and it's just so fun. You know,
Thank
the
you.
ideas that you have that you can put down. And when did you actually start drawing though? Because I mean, I think you're extremely talented, and it's like you couldn't have just started a year or two ago. When did you actually start drawing?
Right. So, I mean, I've done art like most of my life. I took drawing classes in high school and college. I really liked painting a lot in college, but I always was like copying other paintings. So I could basically replicate any painting I wanted to because I was good at mixing the colors and placing things, but I just never had anything in my own head that I could like get out, you know? And so I hadn't done a lot of like, I had tried cartooning, but just could never depict what I wanted to depict. So I really hadn't done a lot of like dog cartoons or anything like that before. But through the drawing a day, and also like I had art skills built up already, so I could pick it up faster than probably the average person. But I still was a beginner at cartooning, but because I did it every single day, no matter how bad it looked, eventually by like May or June, that's when things started to like really come together and I started to get my own style and things like that.
Nice. That makes sense. And I was also wondering, so we were chatting a little bit before, you were a school teacher for third and fourth
Mhm.
graders,
Mhm. Yes.
and you made the transition from being a full-time teacher to jumping all in with the art scene. What, because a lot of people out there, they have their passion and their hobbies, and they'd like to pursue that, and especially, be able to get finances from that, but they may feel stuck in their 9 to 5, or that they have to go to
Mhm.
work to pay the bills. So how were you able to, and what got you to kind of just make that jump and go all in with art from teaching?
Yeah, so I think living in Vegas is awesome because rent really, if at least when I started renting this house, it wasn't super high. And so while I was teaching, I don't like spend a lot of money, so I was able to save a lot. Like I would go to work, I would go to the gym and train jujitsu, and then I would come home and make my own food and all of that. So I really was able to save like a good amount of money each month. And I kind of just sat down and like wrote out how much runway I would have if I made $0 for like the first year. And don't get me wrong, it was really scary, especially because there's always expenses that come up that you can't plan for. But just kind of taking it month by month and seeing like, okay, this month I only made like $400, but at least that is covering some of it and like helping like stopping the bleeding, if that makes sense. So it really hasn't been easy. I'm still trying to like get to a point where it's super sustainable for the long run, but each month I'm slowly like making more. Sometimes I make less, but just getting up to the point where I need to be able to keep doing it. But yeah, it's there. The other thing too is just like finding ways to make definite money. So with the NFTs, I get paid in cryptocurrency, which is kind of weird with converting to US dollars. I'd rather keep it as crypto, but that means I'm not making a lot of US dollars. So that's where I picked up and started doing the online virtual art lessons, where at that point, all I have to do is find people willing to learn. And then I get that money each week or each month or however often I'm doing the lessons. So that's another thing that kind of like helps slow things down and keeps me going.
Nice, nice. So yeah, I like how you're diversifying and trying to get multiple income streams through, the
Exactly.
NFTs and the teaching, and so that's super cool. And I was curious if you had, I know you had a lot of different, prints and things like that. Do you have one favorite that you've done? Was it your first one, or something that was really popular, or something that you just kind of super pumped on, and is like more or less your favorite, or one or two of those?
Yeah, so I have a favorite character that I've drawn. Her name is Sandy. And here, let
You got
me,
Sandy over there?
yeah, I have her on.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm actually have my iPad right here. That would be good. But yeah, so she is like, her name, she's called the unicorn lover. And I don't love unicorns or anything like that, but I feel like in some ways I kind of relate with her. I don't know why, and I didn't do it on purpose. I just really, really like her. She's just super like happy all the time and does a lot of different things. Let me see if I can find her. Here
Nice.
she is. So this is her.
Oh, sweet. So
And then I,
she's getting into different things then. You have her doing different things.
yeah, exactly. So I have her, let's see. I have way too many files on my iPad. Let's see if I can find her. But I have her, the most recent one I did actually, that should get here. I put her as a bank robber. She turned bad.
Nice.
But then I have a couple others where she is like, I did one where she's ice skating and one where she is, oh, I know where this one is. Like reading in autumn.
Oh, that's so cool.
But yeah, so I always like, I want to do more characters, but whenever I think of like a funny thing to happen, I feel like it always ends up, I always want to draw Sandy doing it, but I need to like keep on having other things too.
That's awesome. Very cool. Well, shoot, I truly do appreciate your time. Before we head out, tell everybody where they can find out more about you, find your artwork, and if they want to join one of your classes, let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, so probably the best place would be on Instagram or Twitter. My username on there is Miss Manda Art, MissMandaArt. And then you can also search me online. Same username, it's missmandaart.com. But yeah, email, Instagram message, website message, I'll answer it wherever.
Beautiful. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you again so much for your time. Hopefully we can get this out to some folks and they can connect with you and get to see some of your artwork and support you and what you're doing in the mission. And yeah, again, very, very much appreciated. And thank you for your time today.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You betcha. All right, y'all. That was Amanda. And again, I'm Tyler, your local realtor. Appreciate your time, and we'll see y'all soon. Thanks.